Well, DC finally released Justice League. Mega team-up film with 7 characters, with 300 combined years of publishing history between them. The immortal words of Missy Elliott, this film tries to put its thing down, flip it, and reverse it. But, is its effeminate plan yet? Because with a budget of diggity $1 million and the anticipation of fans the world over, only one question truly remains. How the hell did they manage to push a turd this large through Zack Snyder's colon? That's the question. I'm DC superfan and Missy Elliott superfan Dan Umpton, and in 99 episodes this is my first wholly negative review. Hooty hoo, motherfuckers. Here it comes.
It's the kind of beat that go ra-ta-ta, ra-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Sex me so good I say blah blah blah. Work it. I need a glass of water.
Some of my friends have said to me, Dan, it can't possibly be that bad, and they do have a point. Counterpoint, yes it can. Justice League opens with Bill Tench from Mindhunter being chased and beaten up by Batman and then used as bait for a parademon for what seems to be no reason at all. That's an excellent tone setter for this entire film, which is why is any of this happening at all? First, this film is dumb. Second, it is boring. It's fucking dumb and super boring. So are most of the characters. Aquaman talks like an Ed Hardy t-shirt drinking a Busch Light. The Flash is just a dipshit. Like a character that someone wrote in because they needed a dumb, silly guy is like a comic relief, but they chose the guy who's a scientist in a forensic lab who spent his entire life trying to solve his mom's murder. Hilarious. How do you make a guy with super speed the least fun part of an entire movie? Also, Martha Kent, Alfred, and Commissioner Gordon are completely wasted roles. Entirely wasted. J.K. Simmons is one of the best actors of an entire generation, and he's playing, again, an idiot. A few facts. Wonder Woman was the only 100% fun character in the entire film, and was fantastic. Cyborg was mostly fun, and they digitally removed Henry Cavill's mustache for the filming of Justice League, and if they'd just let Superman have a mustache, I'd have given this film a whole single star, but as it stands, 0 stars on a scale of who cares how many stars. 0. 1 mustache would have equaled 1 star. Even people like Grant Morrison, Howard Porter, Gary Conway, and Marv Wolfman got special thanks here. Insulting because, please leave them out of this, they're not responsible for this thing at all. Then there's the choices. For a first villain, they picked Steppenwolf, which is a B-list villain and a deep cut even for familiar fans. Why not Starro, or Lex Luthor, or just like a Brainiac, like a machine, a Despero? I don't know. Why not anything remotely familiar? Then there's the idea of mother boxes. In comics, they're living, sentient computer weapons that open up portals called boom tubes, which make a boom sound as their namesake. Oh yeah, they make an appearance in the film, but they don't boom. How do you mess that up? They're called boom tubes. Also, there's plural mother boxes, like 3 of them, and they combine to turn Earth into Apocalypse, which is a place that isn't even mentioned or referenced in the film whatsoever. And which, this is a whole critically, even wrap my head around it. It's like if you made a Doctor Who movie but you made the TARDIS the father of the Master. Or if you, like, did the Lord of the Rings, but you made the Silmarils the mother of Sauron, but you never ever mentioned Sauron at all. Or like if you made a movie about the Bible, but the 10 Commandments are an alien weapon, Moses is already dead, and Aaron just shouts, "Booyah!" and "Alright!" like a whole bunch of times. I can't adequately make a good metaphor because this is so moronic. Deviation from source material is not the primary problem here. That aside, it is not a good film on its own. However, the critical mistakes of the DCEU are forefront here. The biggest one is this. In trying to present a fresh new take on these characters, one loses the essence of what makes them fun and relevant. That's not to say you can't do it, it's just to say that it's done poorly in this case. Here, Batman is comic relief and has a death wish. That doesn't make any sense. Aquaman is basically Lobo with a trident, which is stupider, but I still kind of liked watching Aquaman fight underwater. Superman lacks any leadership or any real resolve. The Flash, as I said, is a dipshit. Brunch? What is brunch? I don't know. Who did they get to punch up Flash's dialogue? Arya from Pretty Little Liars? What is brunch? I don't know. Give me Grant Gustin. Like, actually, any other CW crossover episode is better in its totality than this film. Windshot, Felicity Smoke, and Cisco Ramon are more capable than the entirety of the Justice League in this film. Which really brings me to my next point, because despite all the faults of the movies that they've made recently, DC is getting a bad rap, but let's look at its history. It's 5 pretty good Batman films, 2 to 3 good Superman films, depending on what kind of mood I'm in that day. A library of good animated films, 12 seasons of incredible Justice League, Young Justice, Batman, Superman, and mostly very good CW-verse. If you look at the totality of what they produced, there's nothing wrong with DC characters when they're put in the hands of people who can handle them and understand what they're dealing with. You can do fresh, new, relevant takes on great heroes all day if you have someone capable at the helm. Supergirl is incredible proof of that, and I'm way overdue for an episode on that series. What baffles me is that I get how a bad X-Men or Fantastic Four Spider-Man film gets made. You're contractually obligated to keep the rights by making films, even rushed bad ones. Fine. Here, where is your obligation? What else is there but a money grab, and a shitty one at that? Why not just take your time and develop a universe? Or don't do a universe. Just make fun standalone movies about Green Lantern and Batgirl, Detective Chimp and Dr. Fate. I have to lay this at the feet of Zack Snyder. I feel bad for him, but hopefully DC learns the lessons that they need to by seeing the critical and financial success of Wonder Woman and what Patty Jenkins gave them, coupled with the critical and hopefully financial failure of Justice League, so that they don't give up, but they just learn not to put something like this in hands that aren't capable of handling it in the future. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week. I still love DC. I just hated this movie. Next week we'll talk about The Punisher, which is a totally different piece of work, but also hits on some great cultural issues that should be talked about. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you later.